I'm back and thank you for watching this video. This is my kind of first look at XeroLinux. I've looked at it in the past, honestly, but this is my first look at a new release that I've been waiting for. And what I mean is I've been coming to this page. I've been regularly following Dark Zero, who's the creator of XeroLinux, on his releases, and it's been a few weeks where this was getting pushed aside, but it was released just a few days ago, finally, and I'm excited. I mean, can't say finally to sound impatient. It's just a great eye candy distro, but also very useful for beginners to Arch like myself. I'm not very familiar with Arch compared to most Arch users, but it's really cool. It boots very quickly. That's the first thing right off the get-go. The too long didn't read, I guess. That's what I noticed. And this is on some older hardware from about 2017. And you know, it's just a really I first say it's an eye candy distro. Now there's other Arch eye candy distros out there like Garuda, but I don't think it's nearly as user friendly and beginner friendly as XeroLinux based on the scripts that he has implemented here. And what I mean by that is like there's ricing, basically screwing with the customization and look of the desktop in such a way where I'm not going to break it by running his scripts. It just does it for me, and that's great. I don't have time to mess with scripts, and I think it's really nice that he has generously put these out there. So first, if you go to their website, you can see that it's a really nice looking website. And if you go to the download link, originally this did not come up. It would bring up a counter that said there's 10 days remaining until it's released. And originally that counter would say like a week, and then I would go back that next week and check, and it said 7 more days. And then after that, it finally was released. I think he just wants to get things perfect, but you can read here about the end user agreement, and it's just really nice. And the minimum requirements are very, I'd say, fair. I mean, I'd say most devices within the last 10, 15 years probably have 4 gigs of RAM nowadays. So 3 megabytes or 3 gigabytes of RAM is fairly reasonable. I don't have any notes here. I'm not reading from anything. This is just a decided to hit record video. And this is a base install that I did on a tablet that actually is going to get disposed. It doesn't have a functional battery. It's way out of warranty, and I'm just running this on the tablet and then erasing it. So the thing I like about using actual hardware is this is more of an experience that might be relatable to what you're going to use it for. It's not in a virtual machine like most Linux videos nowadays are. And there's nothing against virtual machines. This is just more realistic to me to have it on bare bones hardware. And like I said, it boots up very quickly. It even has a custom boot screen for Grub, which when you do the customization on from his website, it does it all for you. And that's really cool. So if you scroll down here on the website, you can see this area that says customization. So after you install XeroLinux, you can go here, and then I found the Zero Suite theme. And this happens to look just like the icon set that you see in Garuda Linux, which it's praised for this look. Well, you can have that in Dark Zero Linux or in XeroLinux from Dark Zero. And I went here and I clicked on Zero Suite. I went to the installation guide. I literally copied and pasted the commands that they provided right here, and it was done. Just had to reboot, and everything worked perfectly. And this is what you get. Here's my desktop. Here's my recording software. But here are some of my icons. I didn't have to do anything, and it looks beautiful, and it works very smoothly on old hardware without a hitch. There's no problems. I haven't had anything, really any challenges. And when you first launch it, it does have its own launcher or start screen, if you will. And if you go down here and you go to System, let's see, it's called XeroLinux Hello. So let's launch that. And you have a little slider here to turn it on and off at startup, which is nice. But it's got some common applications that you might install. And if you can't find the applications in that, install applications interface, you can just install them from the command line because it has access to the Arch user repository. So you can just type in one command and have, for instance, Brave browser like you see I have down here. And if we hit the F12 key on my keyboard, it brings up this little, kind of reminds you of Quake or Doom back in the day where the console drops down. I love that. And you look right here, you got Intel, X8. These are all the commands that I did recently, but right here you can see Yay, Pandoc. That's an app I installed just with one command because I probably did not find that application in the add or remove programs. But of course, by typing in Yay S, which is for installation, in that command, I could backspace and type in Brave, um, bin, or I think that's the command to install Brave, and that's it, and it was done. Easier than doing it in Windows, in my opinion. And then you can just copy and paste it from the browser. So if you don't know those commands, I don't know them all the time. I copy and paste a lot of things. But from here, you can update the system, just some really simple things. And let's just kind of look through the menu. So this is going to be different than the stock look that you'll get when you install XeroLinux. But like I said, I went to that website. I picked this customization right here, the Zero Suite, because I think it looks awesome. And it will also customize the grub theme. It does that. So when you reboot your computer, I can't show you that now because I'm actually in the operating system, but you can reboot your computer and it will look like, I think mine looks similar to one of these. I don't even remember, but it looks cool. Better than nothing, right? And these other ones look awesome as well. I haven't tried them, but this one kind of has a Mac OS look with this wide dock. But the only thing I'd say that I don't prefer with XeroLinux is when you're running a tabbed browser and you need to bring your mouse up here to the top, this hiding of the bar. But, however, it is very handy if the application supports it, such as this browser that I'm using, which is Brave. It has the Plasma browser integration, but if you notice when I go to the top, it has menus that refer to Brave. Now, not all applications are going to support that. Not a problem. It's just something that's, I'm being finicky about. But I can customize this dock. And I think this is Latte dock down here. But you can customize these. These are highly customizable things that I can't do that in Windows 11. You're losing customization in Windows 11 when compared to Windows 10. Microsoft's taking things away and dumbing things down. And it's getting pretty bad in my opinion. And they're locking things down. And I won't get into the politics of that, but it's really frustrating to me. So anyways, let's go back up here like I originally said I was going to do, and I got sidetracked with my amazement of this operating system. You got a lot of tools installed by default. If you especially go to the utilities menu, I think Caffeine was installed automatically, which I love this app. And you can see it right up here at the top bar. I can set my screen to never go to sleep. And that is powerful if you are compiling an app or doing something where you do not want the computer to go to sleep and you want that reassurance that you can just leave your house, come back, and it'll be done. That is great. And you got HP Device Manager. Awesome. You got in most PCL, I think drivers will work with this. Maybe like my brother printer that I own would work with this. Like it's not going to matter because this tablet's going to be disposed, but still. I installed Stacer. That's an app I like. And the first thing I look at is how much memory is being used. It uses quite a bit of memory, but that's the browser mainly. You can see right here, 2.7 gigs out of 8 gigs of RAM. And I love Stacer. It's a great app. And you can see all the startup apps that I already have set to run. And I use SyncThing. That's running. That's like a more, well, it's an open source sync tool that works great. And I use that with my Obsidian Notes. And I've done a video on Obsidian Notes before, and I'm a huge fan, even though it's not really open source. But let's go back to the menu, show you what else it comes with. And again, even because my menus look different, you're still going to have a lot of these tools, except for the ones I installed after the fact, such as Brave and uh, Simple Screen Recorder. Actually, that may have been installed as well. Spectacle, I can't believe I haven't used this in such a long time. It is a great screenshot tool. Now, if you're coming from a screenshot tool like GreenShot or KSnip, which I love in Linux, it has a great annotation or editor tool where you can just put like numbers and diagrams and arrows to make really fast tutorials for people. And I use that in my day-to-day job with this open source software that just works so great. You got more than I could ever ask for, or more than I know to use here. And you can see like Kwrite, you got Kate, there's another text editor. You got tons of stuff. Let's go up here to the system. I installed TimeShift because I love it, and it's a great snapshot tool. It's not a backup tool. It's a more of a time machine tool because, again, I've said this in the past, if your computer gets zapped, your TimeShift tool is not a backup. Your stuff's gone because if it's stored just on that local drive. However, you can back up your system aside from that. A snapshot tool like this is very useful if you are just changing a lot of settings and you want to roll back to something that you might have broken. So I've done this numerous times. I've, installed maybe a bad theme and it's just something's not going well. It's just like the screen's flickering or it's just something I broke. I go back to time shift, just go back in time, and it's back to how it was working, just a few minutes ago. It's got a firewall built in. I don't think it's turned on by default. Uh, a lot of stuff here I'm not going to go over. Console, you got plenty of terminal options. Yeah, Quake, that's that Quake one, I guess. Let's see. Right there, see it launches it. And when you click outside of it, it goes back up at the top. But you can hit, like I said earlier, F12. It brings it right down. You can see my IP address. You can probably hack me, whatever you want to do. This computer's getting destroyed. I don't care. I have had very little sleep, and you can probably tell by how I'm rambling on. Let's see. We'll go through some more of these. We've got settings, A rand R. That's so you can more fine tune or just dive into changing the resolution of your screen. Uh, I think. Office, not a whole lot. Obsidian shows up there, which is my favorite notes app of all time. Better than OneNote, in my opinion. You got VLC Media Player. I installed that after the fact. And Cheese, I installed that. Let's see, we got Internet. Brave shows up there. So even these apps I installed under the terminal, they all show up in the correct categories. I don't see something like GIMP. I would go install that personally, just to have a really powerful graphics editor. And development. You got a lot of stuff here that I am not qualified to even use, but it's there. Electron 18, I believe, got installed when I installed Obsidian because that's an Electron-based app. So that's something I don't think comes with this by default. It does support keyboard shortcuts, so if I hit the Windows key and like the letter E out of the box, it brings up my folders and Dolphin, the file explorer. I do think that XeroLinux has made really great use of all of these icons at the top. Things are appearing up here just like they should, like simple screen recorders there. You got Stacer. I could right click on it and close it. It's just really, really nice. And I've had zero crashes, zero with an X. Another thing, this distribution is made proudly in Lebanon. It says it right on the website, which is really cool. My wife's family is all from Lebanon. Like everybody in her family, just about. And great country, great people. It's really cool. So that's all I have to show for this. This is not an in-depth review. This is just me showing what I did with it and how easy it is. And I just like making like the videos like this. Just more people that see this, maybe they decide they want to give it a try. It's up to you. Thanks for watching.